Hey everybody, I'm looking at making a three-part series about Amanda Todd. I know it's a month later after the fact, but I tried compiling it all into one video, and the video ended up being like, 30 minutes long. So that's why I'm thinking about just kind of splitting this up into three parts. And today I'm going to read something that was off of Facebook, which is essentially a Mad Todd story, and I will iron out some of the details because I know some of the stuff on this story that this person wrote on Facebook is not completely accurate. But you'll get a general baseline, and I'll just kind of cut and I'll fix it for you guys after I read all that's said here on Facebook. Amanda Todd. She went in chat rooms with her friends a few years ago to meet with new people. They complimented her, then they asked her to flash, so she did. About a year later, somebody messaged her telling her that if she didn't give him a one-on-one show, that he would send her boobs to all of her friends, family, etc. A few weeks went by, and it was Christmas break. 4 a.m., the cops were knocking at her door. Her boobs were sent to everyone. She was depressed, and her anxiety was off the charts. She lost every friend, so she moved to a different school, new beginning. Not too long after he found her and sent her boobs out again, she got into drugs and alcohol, started self-harm. She became so depressed she didn't go out, so she moved with her mom into a completely new place. She started talking to an old guy friend that was now leading her on, saying he liked her. Alright, let me point this out really quickly, okay? Because I'm going to try and make this video no more than a 10-minute video at most. Here's the deal. The only reason that she moved to her mom's city was because of the guy that was her old guy friend that she met. Okay? And because of what he did to her while she was living with her father, then she went to her mom's city. Okay, so we already got that out of the way. So she meets a guy friend, and it was leading her on, saying he liked her. He had a girlfriend. He invited her. She went. She went, and they hooked up. She hooked up with the guy when his girlfriend was on vacation. Okay. So she later got a text saying to leave the school now. She ignored it. Everyone surrounded her. Two girls came up telling her to look around. Nobody likes her. A boy screamed out, "Just hit her already." They threw her to the ground and hit her several times. She ran to a ditch, and her dad found her there later. When she came home, she chugged bleach, attempting suicide. She was rushed to the hospital, and they flushed her system. She gets home and sees all the posts all over Facebook telling her to drink bleach again, saying nobody likes her and telling her to die. She cried every night. Everybody hated her because of her one mistake. One little mistake. She started cutting again. She attempted suicide and failed. Okay, they didn't seem to mention the fact that she actually overdosed in the hospital for 2 days in this little thing that was written here on her like page, on her Amanda Todd page here on Facebook. So I'm bringing that sort of to attention so you guys can understand that. Now, she overdosed in the hospital for a couple days. That wasn't mentioned in here. And the other thing is that when she said that she moved to her mom's town and then the people beat her up, which wasn't really mentioned very well in this story because there was actually 50 people there. And she got beaten up because somebody in the crowd said punch her. And evidently then she says that her dad found her. That doesn't make any sense, but it's pretty obvious that that's what happened, okay? Her dad found her. She tried committing suicide that night by committing suicide by drinking bleach, and then she ended up going to her mom's town, and then she overdosed for 2 days in the hospital last summer, and then posted her video on YouTube, which is still there, by the way, which is partially why this person has this story right here, because it's right from her video. Okay, all things aside, that is the Amanda Todd story, that she was essentially having a cyber stalker that sent her boobs, and she had to keep on changing schools because the cyber stalker was sending the boobs and it was going right back to square one. Then she got personally beaten up by these kids, which was, by the way, going to her second school. Then, that problem fell out, and then she ended up going to a third school, which people were bullying her, and she was getting cyber bullied by bunches of people on her Facebook page. So she had people cyber bullying her on her page. She had people bullying her at her school, and she had a cyber stalker that was after her, and she was cutting, and she was on drugs and alcohol. She was depressed. She was on antidepressants, And she also was getting counseling when she was with her mother in her mom's city, getting counseling to try to get her from all of her problems, which obviously didn't work out for her very well. So it's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, really. It's absolutely unfortunate. But and it says on October 10th, 2012, Amanda Todd committing suicide because of bullies. One mistake she made her life hell. She hung herself after attempting suicide multiple times. That's what I'm hearing too. Now there's a little bit of speculation about that on Wikipedia. I don't know why it's like that on Wikipedia. On Wikipedia, it's saying that she died by suicide by hanging, but then I've also heard them say that they weren't going to release that information of how she committed suicide. So it's a bizarre thing going on. But I believe it is hanging. Most people have said that. I find no reason to believe that it isn't the case. But anyway, you know. So anyway, like I said, I'm thinking about making a part 3 series out of this. My second part is going to be my thoughts on this whole situation, what I think could have been done as far as that's concerned. And I may even make a part 3 kind of going into some controversial stuff that maybe you guys are not going to be interested in, so maybe you guys don't need to watch part 3, but I'll make it anyway. I know this is a month after the fact, but I still have some things to say about this situation because I'm still pretty upset about it. So stay tuned, because there's going to be a part 2 and a part 3 to this whole thing coming pretty quickly. So hope you guys enjoy these videos. Until then, just hang in there for part 2 and part 3.